is packed for another installment of Carolina and Duke. Welcome to Saturday Primetime, presented by H&R Block. Plain and simple, it is the best rivalry in college basketball.
Hold up, let me get up in it now. I'm here to win it now. I get up. It all comes down to this. The Blue Devils want revenge in the Dean Dome.
Slipping and injured is Zion Williamson.
He blew completely through the shoe.
We gotta be without Z, and we gotta, play hard and keep fighting.
What a move by R.J. Barrett.
But the Heels plan on having the last laugh.
May over Barrett, and how about that soft touch on the turnaround?
Absolutely terrific from start to finish.
So get up for Duke versus North Carolina.
This is a Sonic blockbuster on ESPN. And what an environment here with the Smith Center in Chapel Hill. Round 2 between Duke and North Carolina. Here's a look at the standings. Everybody else is locked in terms of seeding for the ACC tournament except for these two. Whoever wins tonight is the 2. Whoever loses tonight is the 3 going into Charlotte. And, of course, potentially NCAA tournament seeding is up for discussion given what happens tonight and next week as well. Hi, everybody, and welcome again inside the Dean Dome. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. Maybe the most discussed story in college basketball this year took place in the first game between Duke and Carolina. You know where we're heading with this. Zion Williamson, barely 30 seconds into the game, tries to make a spin move. The foot blows right through the shoe. The other knee takes the brunt of the impact. A grade 1 sprain. He is still out, will not play in tonight's game, although confidence is high within the Duke program that he will be back in Charlotte next week for the ACC tournament. So what did Carolina do? Well, they went to work. They went to work inside, 62 points in the paint on their way to an 88-72 win over Duke at Cameron. R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish had to carry a huge load in that game without Zion Williamson. So let's talk about that game and the impact that it could have on this game tonight.
Well, it can have an impact. You're down a star. So Zion Williamson out, Duke is down 1 star. But you know what? They still got 1 star left. And it's a big star in R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett is leading this team in scoring. He is leading the ACC in scoring. Top 5 in assists, averaging over 7 rebounds per game. The lefty absolutely does it all. Averages over 23 points per game in ACC play. He loves to go to his left, and you take a look at the Indeed player resume, you can see what he's done over his last 5 games. He has been spectacular. 26 points a game, shooting well over 50% from 3. He rebounds, assists, but on the other side is a senior, the transfer from Pittsburgh, Cameron Johnson, who has been spectacular all season long. His numbers on the road are unmatched in this league. The last time these two teams played, he had 26 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and did not hit a 3, even though he's hit 81 on the season. There is not a small forward in this league that has played any better than Cameron Johnson. I think he has been first team All-ACC this year.
One of the best shooters in the country over the course of the season, no doubt about that. Senior night here in Chapel Hill. So much going on in and around this game. For more, let's go to Maria Taylor.
We heard Jay Billis talking about how impressive Cam Johnson has been on the court. It's been an impressive journey off the court. His freshman year, he had a shoulder injury that cut his entire season short. 2 years later, he finds himself a Tar Heel. And Cam Johnson told me that he was unheralded. No one cared about him when he took the court. Everyone thought that maybe he got this opportunity because his father played at Pitt. But one thing he says every time he steps on the court is he's playing with house money. And he even came in early 3 nights ago just to stand in the middle of the Dean Dome with no one in the arena to calm his nerves for this moment. He said he's been through a lot and he'll continue to work as if he is one that has something to prove, guys.
All right, Maria, great stuff. Everybody's looking forward to this game. And why? Well, it's the best rivalry in college basketball, as you may have heard once or twice. Last 100 meetings, how about this? 50-50, with Duke outscoring Carolina by just 14 points over those 100 games. It's the 12th time that these two have met when both of them have been ranked in the top 5. Carolina leads that 6-5. Not surprisingly, it's the most top 5 matchups ever between two programs.
Carolina and Duke always delivers, and it's knocking at your door to deliver again.
Great environment at a game day this morning, and an even more charged environment here for the game tonight as Duke and Carolina get set for round 2, with conceivably, of course, a round 3 coming next week in Charlotte. We are ready for the tip of our Sonic Blockbuster. Roger Ayers, Ted Valentine, Bill Covington, the officials tonight. And underway here at Chapel Hill. No Zion Williamson. Alex O'Connell is starting again for Duke. And Jay, he's been hot from the perimeter the last 4 games.
He has played extraordinarily well. He had a great game at Syracuse, being guarded by Luke May starting out this game. He's going to be able to stretch May out, maybe drive him a bit.
Kenny Williams on R.J. Barrett, who gets into the lane and drops in a floater.
Boy, Kenny Williams turned around on the O'Connell penetration, sort of lost Barrett, who was able to drive him on the closeout.
And Barrett was on May, now on a switch. Looks like Duke will switch a lot. He switches on to Kobe White. Now on to Cam Johnson.
No, Duke switches everything. They switch 1 through 5. They've been doing it all season long, and it's going to get North Carolina some matchups they can take advantage of.
Like May having Jones on him. Barrett comes over to double team. Kenny Williams on senior night misses the 3. Kobe White, who's had some big games lately. Step back 3 is there. 3 times this year, Kobe White has scored 33 or more. The reigning ACC Rookie of the Week and Player of the Week from last week's games.
And that was a big part of the last game between these two teams. Offensive rebounds, this time kicked out for a 3. Kobe White with the step back. But Cam Johnson, who is an excellent rebounder, nobody boxes him out. And in part, that is because the switches. He was being guarded by Marquise Bolden, who does not usually block out on the perimeter. Didn't block out Cam Johnson. Offensive rebound, open 3. And North Carolina is such a great rebounding team, even though they're not a really big team.
And they've been a great three-point shooting team this year, about 9 per game, and are making better than 37%. A much better perimeter shooting team on the season than Duke has been, as Barrett misses a 3. And May, who's the second leading rebounder in the ACC, behind only John Mooney of Notre Dame, down with the board for the Heels. Nice play by Williams. Jones got knocked down, tipped up and in by May.
Boy, what a play by Kenny Williams. Mike Krzyzewski calling for a foul that he knocked down Trey Jones, but just a heads-up, gritty play by the senior Kenny Williams.
With no Williamson, what does Carolina try to do on R.J. Barrett tonight?
They are going to gap him. They're going to be there in all his drives. They're going to come off of shooters, except for Cam Reddish, and make sure that he is seeing a lot of white shirts.
Williamson has practiced each of the last 3 days, non-contact, still not ready to go, and here's the tip by May.
And again, nobody gets a block out because of the switches. You're having different, you can take that all the way in the backcourt. Cam Reddish probably didn't process that. Boy, Carolina ratcheting up the pressure.
O'Connell gets it off in a hurry, misses long.
That was a pressured shot and contested.
Carolina getting down the floor, but what a block by Bolden. He's called for a foul, though, and he is injured.
He is holding that left knee, and he is in a great deal of pain. He went up to block that shot off the rim run by Garrison Brooks, who really got down the court quickly. Boy, you hope Marquise Bolden is okay. You see right down the middle of the floor, he's trailing Garrison Brooks, and then goes up, fouls him, and you can't see as he came down, but that was not pretty. Just a scary time when you see a player go down. Looked like he might have hit the stanchion with his left foot.
And the left leg of Brooks, looks like the left leg of Brooks inadvertently, of course, gets kind of underneath the left leg of Bolden when he came down. Maybe hyperextended it a little bit. Bolden still down. We'll step aside for 30 seconds and to bring you back to the Dean Dome after this. Back in Chapel Hill, Marquise Bolden still down in obvious discomfort. You saw him kind of the pain on his face as soon as his left leg came down. Still getting attention, and there has been no move to try to get him up on his feet as of this point. And now they will gingerly at least get him into a sitting position. We'll see if he's able to get up and hopefully walk off under his own power. And unfortunately, it looks like, well, he's actually kind of taken his arms off of Vrankovic and Robinson, his teammates, and it looks like he's going to try to walk off on his own, but now unable to. He's changed his mind, and he's going to need a lot of help getting off the court, Jay. This is not a good sign right here.
Oh, it's a scary moment, but you're glad to see him up and walking with some help. And Marquise Bolden getting a nice hand from the crowd here at North Carolina. Just trailing the play as the pass was made over the top on the rim run by Garrison Brooks. He goes up to block it with that left hand, and it was his left leg that went right into the stanchion. You could see right away he knew it and felt it.
So they lose their primary big man as Javin DeLaurier has now come in off the bench for the Blue Devils. Brooks is at the line after the foul call on Bolden. And so Duke now without Zion Williamson, of course, and without Marquise Bolden. If we get further details or more of a report, of course, we'll pass it along as soon as we can.
And if he's unable to come back, that's a big body that is taken out of the lineup for Duke that can rebound, finish plays, run the floor, and also block shots and protect the rim.
And Reddish fouled on the jumper. We'll head to the free throw line for two. Cam Johnson called for the foul.
Now Reddish is going to have a really good game. Last time these two teams played, he had 27 points. But he's had some ups and some downs, as you would expect from a freshman. But he has star potential. And there are certain games where he plays like a lottery pick, other games where he plays like a very young player. And this is certainly not an easy atmosphere in which to play.
Knocks them both down to bring the Blue Devils back within two. Again, what's at stake tonight? The winner of this game will be the 2 seed in the ACC tournament. The loser will be the 3. Bigger picture, we can talk about NCAA seeding and how that might play out. Virginia beating Louisville today, so they are the ACC regular season champions. They will be the 1 seed. As Kobe White misses the 3, kept alive, and it belongs to Duke. If Carolina wins this game, then they would share the regular season title at 16-2. Vrankovic and Robinson just ran right by us back to the Duke bench after helping Bolden into the locker room. And you know, a guy like Vrankovic, he might get some playing time now if Bolden's unable to come back.
Yeah, with this smaller lineup on the floor right now for Duke, it's some interesting matchups. R.J. Barrett will be guarding Luke May, and Luke May right now guarding Alex O'Connell.
Barrett, another 3. It's long, and the rebound down to May, and Carolina looking to run again. Kenny Williams. Vintage Carolina basketball.
That's where Duke's offense helped North Carolina. A quick shot that turned into transition for Carolina. If you're going to beat the Tar Heels in this building, your offense has to help your defense.
Trey Jones slips inside and lays it in.
Well, even after a bucket, North Carolina pushes the ball up so quickly.
Kobe White, blinding speed. Trey Jones, great on-ball defender. Good matchup at the point. Johnson's open. May got his hands on another one, but it's free to DeLaurier, and it's Duke ball.
Well, Cam Johnson not going to miss many of those open shots.
Barrett. Boy, if he can get to his left, he is almost unstoppable.
Well, he went right into the chest of the defender.
And DeLaurier with a block from behind on Brooks.
Boy, what a play by DeLaurier. He's such a great athlete with great length.
O'Connell called for the travel. We are tied at 8, 4:25 into the game. Round 2, Duke, Carolina, and the best of 94 feet when we come back.
It's going to take a while. It's all best.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by H&R Block. In person or online, Block has your back. And in part by Smile Direct Club, delivering straighter smiles for 60% less. And Zaxby's, chicken fingers, buffalo wings, salads. Find a location at Zaxby's.com.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN.
The best of 94 feet brought to you by Smile Direct Club. Rui, what sports did you play growing up?
僕は小さい頃野球と陸上をやっていました。
When you went to the beach, did you wear white socks?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Why are you wearing white socks now?
That's all I have on. That's how it came.
Why did you go from the big fro down to this?
I wanted something new. I got tired of looking at the fro in the mirror every day.
It was a national treasure. Your parents are acrobats. What kind of acrobats are your parents?
My mother's a juggler and high wire walker, and my dad's more like a trapeze.
What was it like growing up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan?
Well, this was a normal day. You know, this was maybe a May or June day, so it was a little tough, but it was pretty cool.
I want you to do your best Jack Salt impression.
Hi, my name's Jack Salt. I'm from New Zealand. I like to set screens and play Fortnite.
Your best American accent.
I would like to buy a cheeseburger.
Who's been the biggest influence in your life?
My mom.
How about the second biggest influence?
Sister Tori.
How about the third biggest influence?
Coach Manning.
How about the fourth biggest influence?
Guy that delivers my mail is pretty cool.
Is Batman really a superhero? Because Superman can fly. What can Batman do?
He has a lot of money, made a cool suit.
And what's your ultimate date? What's the one thing when Prince Charming comes to sweep you off your feet? What do you want to do?
I want him to take me to the movie that I want to see, which is probably Titanic, and he needs to cry.
Titanic? That's like 10 years ago.
It's like one of the best movies.
94 feet with, I don't remember.
Ball guy number 2.
If you wanted the best of 94 feet, it should have just been the questions.
I'd like to congratulate Anthony Billis on proving to us that one of the Billis men is quick-witted at least and can think on his feet. But congratulations to you and Wendy and your son Anthony. He was a senior. I know you were over at Wake Forest today, senior day. Anthony started the game, had a big moment near the end of the game, and it must have been a real pleasure and thrill for you to do a 94 feet with your son.
Well, it's always a pleasure, but senior night is a big night for every parent, and for Cam Johnson and Kenny Williams, Luke May tonight, it's equally as big, if not bigger.
Johnson with a 3, Barrett with a 3-point play. Cam Reddish gives Duke the lead with a 3 of his own.
And Reddish has a confident look in his eyes. He shot right over Nasir Little and gave him some talk as soon as that shot went in.
Trey Jones, Duke in transition. R.J. Barrett gets it to go, and Duke extends the lead to 5.
So Dan, in the last ball game between these two, we had talked about if Duke had cleaned up a few things, it would have been in the game at halftime, would have been tied.
Oh my!
What a play.
Kobe White!
What a star Kobe White has become. Are you kidding me? That was fantastic.
Behind the back, through traffic, and with the finish as well, and Carolina's running again. May, nice look. Nasir Little steps back to the corner and ties it up with a 3. What a start we've got tonight, my friend.
Dan, this is as good of a passing team as you are going to see in the country. Carolina shares the ball, and they find the man with the best possible shot.
Jack White got the rebound, didn't get the putback, though.
Can't have it more point blank than that. That's a deflating play.
Little in off the bench for Carolina. White in off the bench for Duke. Johnson, quick trigger, too strong on the 3. Rebound Jones.
Oh, this has been an up and down track meet. What a fabulous game.
Jones forcing the issue, called for the travel.
Carolina getting the ball down the floor, and it was Cam Johnson who was bringing it up at 6'8". Passed it into Luke May, and May immediately saw the double team, knew Nasir Little was open on the other end. Nasir Little letting Cam Reddish know about it on that closeout, but Little had the presence of mind to step back and make a tough 2 into an open 3.
And our first look from Fan Cam, the student section to our left behind the bucket, all fired up here early. They'd love to see Carolina beat Duke for the second time this season. Of course, again, with a potential meeting looming in Charlotte. If it were to happen, it would be in the semis because these two schools will be 2 and 3 in some order heading into the ACC tournament.
How about this stat, Dan? When North Carolina and Duke are playing in the last game of the season, and first place is on the line for Carolina, the Tar Heels are 8-0 against the Blue Devils. That is stunning.
Yep. And it is at stake tonight because a win for the Heels as DeLaurier finishes on the feed from Barrett. A win for the Heels, and they would share the regular season title with Virginia. Williams and Mike Krzyzewski just cannot like the transition buckets Carolina's getting early.
Well, especially after you dunk one on one end, you give up a layup on the other. Just a lack of awareness in transition defense, and it is transition defense at conversion. You think of transition defense after you get a steal, a turnover, a rebound, but it's also after the ball goes through the net. The other team gets the ball, and Carolina inbounds it as quickly as anybody.
Brandon Robinson in for Carolina. White air ball on the 3. Robinson tries to save, but into the hands of Jones. Barrett in transition, pulls up from 16. Rebound May.
Not the best shot, and a great job by Kobe White, who people forget is 6'5".
Without the hair.
Oh, what a pass.
Little to finish, the assist to May. What a career Luke May's had here as he plays on his senior night.
Luke May just gave a fist to Roy Williams because he needs a blow. He's played so hard, he's exhausted himself.
Reddish not looking exhausted at all. A corner 3 to put Duke back on top.
No, Reddish is feeling it on the offensive end, and he is looking to take every open shot. But you were absolutely right on Luke May. He has had a fantastic career. 2 years in a row, he's averaged a double-double at Carolina. That puts him into the company of guys like Mitch Kupchak and Billy Cunningham, Rusty Clark.
Just turned it over. Left-handed layup in transition. Trey Jones, and the lead grows to 3.
Carolina a little bit loose with the ball. And Duke is getting a different quality of shot in this game than it did in the game in Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Which, as you said, the better quality of shot they take, the more it helps their defense.
Well, they're laying it in a lot. Great slip to the bucket by Little.
Wow. With patience underneath. Both teams executing very well offensively.
It has been a scoring fest. Which team is going to be able to buckle down and get some stops?
Reddish behind the back. Taken away. Kenny Williams lays it in.
I'm not sure what Cam Reddish was doing there. That's about as loose as you can get with a basketball in a big game, or any game. He passed that ball behind his back to the wing, and nobody was there.
Jones, too strong. And a fresh 30 as it bounces out to Barrett.
Luke May called to come out of the game 3 plays ago.
Trying to chase DeLaurier, who lays it in, and May a little bit fortunate. Had that been a foul, it would have been his second.
Yeah, he's a lot fortunate. And sometimes when you're tired, you can pick up a foul like that, but Roy Williams has been they haven't had to stop in play. He's been unable to get him out of the game unless he wants to call a timeout.
Yeah, I think it's been almost 5 minutes since the last whistle. Williams got knocked down by Goldwire. They play on as Kobe White calls a play. Little gets inside, muscles it up, no good.
Strong take by Nasir Little, who has played so much better in the second half of this season.
What a crossover by Barrett, has it knocked out of bounds, and finally a whistle and a timeout here in a track meet in Chapel Hill. Trey Jones getting inside a couple of times here, laying it in with the left hand. Carolina answering in transition again, this time with Kenny Williams.
Delivering again.
Such a great rivalry going back for years and years and years. You played in this shape for 4 years in the 80s. You played in some great games against some great Carolina teams. This is a great Carolina team. This is a great Duke team. There are 7 McDonald's All-Americans on these 2 rosters. Unfortunately, right now, 2 of them are injured as Marquise Bolden suffered a left leg injury of some description earlier tonight. Zion Williamson still not in the lineup. He was ruled out of tonight's game earlier today, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to matter what the records are, who's healthy, what's at stake. As you said, the game always delivers.
And it's delivering in this one. What a pass.
White threaded the needle into Barrett, who couldn't finish, and here come the heels.
Cam Johnson has improved his rebounding immeasurably this year.
7th Woods. Defended by Jack White, and it's out of bounds to the Blue Devils. Well, you want more? How about a great NBA game tonight? It'll be the Celtics. Talk about rivalries. The Celtics and the Lakers highlight tonight's NBA Saturday primetime game as the Celtics West Coast trip rolls on. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern on ABC and also available on the ESPN app.
Some fresh players into the ball game for North Carolina. 7th Woods, who is guarding R.J. Barrett. Andrew Platek guarding Trey Jones. Carolina throws a lot of bodies at you.
And Reddish headed to the free throw line. Cam Johnson fouled him, and Johnson punched the stanchion underneath the basket, upset with himself because he just picked up number 2.
Yeah, you can't, it's easy to say, hard to do, but you don't want to let R.J. Barrett get to that left hand. And Cam Reddish, who has really come out firing in this game. And he is one talented player. 6'8", he's got length, he can shoot it from deep. There's just a smoothness to his game.
He and Barrett combined for 60 of Duke's 72 against Carolina at Cameron, and they have combined for 19 of their 26 so far tonight, and make it 20 of 27.
Well, he was so good, Cam Reddish, in the last minutes of that Louisville comeback. Scored 16 of their last 30 points. Really a remarkable finish.
Barrett gambled. Little gets by him. In and out. Jones, nice look to O'Connell, way strong on the 3.
Well, he was wide open. Good job by Trey Jones of getting to the middle to set that up.
And a great job there by Trey Jones to slow down Nasir Little and force the turnover. Duke by 3 on the road here in Chapel Hill. Let's take a look at tonight's Sonic Blockbuster. These are some of the stats and accomplishments for Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams since Roy Williams became the head coach here in North Carolina back in 03-04. Williams 3, Krzyzewski 2 in NCAA titles. Coach Williams leads in this. Coach K leads in that. 2 of the greatest coaches the sport has ever seen.
No question. I'm 2 legit Hall of Famers. They've combined for 8 national championships and done extraordinary jobs. Roy Williams first at Kansas, now at North Carolina. He was a longtime assistant to Dean Smith here with the Tar Heels, and Mike Krzyzewski, 39 years at Duke. It's ridiculous the success that these 2 programs have had in this league and nationally.
5 years at West Point for Coach K before he went to Durham.
Kenny Williams back on R.J. Barrett. Kenny Williams, the best perimeter defender on this North Carolina team, and the best interior defender, Garrison Brooks.
Andrew Platek on Cam Reddish right now. Good help by Woods. Platek hits the deck and calls a timeout to retain possession.
Boy, what a play by Platek, and what a job by 7th Woods to rotate down and take away that bounce pass along the baseline. Boy, North Carolina on that play, very alert defensively. Ball screen rejected. Kenny Williams tried to take the charge, and 7th Woods was the guy that knocked that away. His rotation made it possible for Platek to get down on the deck and get possession. Think this game isn't important? Think again.
ESPN and the ACC will bring you the ACC Network in August. 15 universities, 1 network. Visit ACCN.com to learn more. You and I will be lucky enough to be in Charlotte for the ACC tournament. It begins Tuesday. Both of these teams have earned a double bye along with Virginia. Florida State has also earned a double bye as the 4 seed. Everybody else, 1 through 15, is locked except for these 2. The winner of this game will be the 2 seed. The loser will be the 3. And it's going to be, as always, just a great few days of basketball. Is there a chance in your mind the ACC could get 3 number 1 seeds?
Yes. Yes. I think with Tennessee losing today, it does make it possible that both North Carolina and Duke could join Virginia as number 1 seeds. I think Virginia's a lock for a number 1 seed.
Gonzaga a lock for
a number 1 seed.
Does Michigan and Michigan State, the game after us tonight here on ESPN, does that potentially figure into a number 1 seed if whoever won tonight also won the Big Ten tournament?
It figures into it, and I think because Michigan State's numbers are so good, but I think if you're going with the best team right now, North Carolina healthy, and Michigan State is not a healthy team.
Right. No Langford, no Ward. May gets it off over O'Connell, off the back of the iron, and down with the rebound is Barrett.
Boy, R.J. Barrett has been an excellent defensive rebounder all year long for this Duke team.
Reddish with a pull-up, and Duke on the road without Zion Williamson, now without Marquise Bolden, leading by 5.
Boy, Cam Reddish is playing with a great deal of confidence. He is not hesitating at all.
Platek thought about it.
We need to get Luke May going. Good pass.
And then Woods threw a pass at the feet of Kenny Williams. Williams gets another shot at it and buries the 3.
Boy, everything got messed up for North Carolina after a first-rate pass. The second pass to Kenny Williams, not very good at all. Boy, nice flare screen.
And Reddish with the answer at the other end.
Boy, he is playing some great basketball right now. There is not 1 ounce of hesitation from Cam Reddish, and the answer after the 3 from Kenny Williams by Cam Reddish.
Williams the handoff from Brooks, and he knocks down a 3. He talked about having to control his nerves and his emotion on senior night. He's locked in right now.
I think he's done it, and Kenny Williams had made 2 of his last 19 from three-point range over his last 5 games coming into this one. And he has found some hot shooting, and that's an offensive foul.
Williams taking the charge on Barrett.
Now you can see why Kenny Williams, one of the best defenders in this league and the best perimeter defender on this North Carolina roster. He has not shot the ball as well as he's capable this year, but that has not taken one thing away from his outstanding defense. He doesn't take a play off on the defensive end ever.
Jay, you've been in these games. What is it like to play in a game like this?
It's an intensity that you can't really describe. The air is heavier. It is hotter. Didn't we say that when we came to the building? Man, it's hot in here. It's hardly ever hot in here. But when Duke comes in, it gets hot.
You hear players say they're exhausted after warm-up sometimes because the adrenaline is rushing so much. Williams again. Tipped and kept alive by Brooks, but out of bounds to Duke.
Well, it's such a great matchup with Williams on Barrett. Williams makes Barrett work for everything, and Barrett is one of the true great scorers in the country of any age. Great move.
Spinning and finishing is Reddish, who has 17 already.
Well, he's getting him from the perimeter, putting the ball on the deck. That was a spectacular spin move against the pressure.
They need a lot out of him without Williamson, of course. Cam Johnson with a soft touch.
How good has Cam Johnson been this year?
First team All-ACC?
First team All-ACC. I mean, you put Williamson and Barrett on there, and you've got Kyle Guy and DeAndre Hunter, and I think Cam Johnson's the next one. That's a pretty good 5. You take that 5 against anybody.
4 minutes left in the first half. Boy, May does a nice job. Just kind of forced White under the bucket to get that rebound.
He wedged him in. That's great weak side rebounding. That's how you average over 10 rebounds a game.
Floater by White, no. Brooks will be at the free throw line when we come back.
Now Cam Reddish, the freshman from Duke, has got off to a great start. A spectacular spin move and finish with the right hand. And the senior Cam Johnson, the transfer from Pittsburgh, with the answer. What a game!
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sonic. Hurry into Sonic for the new brunch burger. Get it with tots for only $2.99. And Charles Schwab. Own your tomorrow.
Earlier today, a great college game day from the Dean Dome. Sam Witt knocking down the half-court shot. He's a senior. It's senior night. It all makes sense. And we've got the Jeep halftime report coming up your way, which means you're going to hear from Seth Greenberg, you're going to hear from Jay Will, and you're going to hear from him now. Coach, let's start with you and what you're seeing from the Tar Heels to start.
Kenny Williams was absolutely terrific. Knocking down shots, active defensively, running the floor. He's keeping Carolina in this thing on a night where Luke May not making shots.
And for Duke, when you think about Cam Reddish and R.J. Barrett keeping the game close, it's going to come down to Jack White and Alex O'Connor are going to need to make shots from the outside in order for Duke to have a chance to win.
More from these fellows on the Jeep halftime report.
Hi, Maria. Thank you. Looking forward to that. 2-point lead for Duke. Luke May tonight just 2 points. As the guys were saying, but he does have 6 rebounds and 4 assists already in the game. R.J. Barrett, as we mentioned, just before the break, just picked up his second foul, but he remains in the game here in the last 3.5 minutes of the first half.
Well, without a lot of depth, hard to take R.J. Barrett off the floor. You have to trust that he's not going to pick up foul number 3 before you get to halftime.
Again, if you're just joining us, no Zion Williamson, although Coach K told us he has practiced the last 3 days, non-contact drills. They didn't feel he was ready to get into a game like this, not having had contact drills. The conditioning's a little bit off because of the injury, but they do expect him, in all likelihood, to be available for the ACC tournament, which for Duke will begin on Thursday.
Duke doing a good job of moving the ball, and then when they did, a nice drive by Jack White. A straight line drive into the middle where he could dish it off to Javin DeLaurier. And Duke is getting a piece of the paint in this game, which it didn't do in the first game.
Brandon Robinson for 3.
Boy, that is not a good foul by Luke May. Didn't have a shot at that offensive rebound. Picked up his second foul. Because Duke has been moving the ball and getting it into the middle, then that nice pass to Jack White. He was able to drive the closeout and get a straight line drive into the middle. And man, that forces you to come over if you don't get a rotation down. Javin DeLaurier gets what could have been a dunk, gets an easy layup. And both Cam Reddish and R.J. Barrett working off of screens on the block. Oh, what a play by Kenny Williams.
How about the night Kenny Williams is having so far at both ends?
Well, he's been doing yeoman's work on the defensive end. When he knocked that ball away, I thought it went off of R.J. Barrett at first. And watch, he gets a hand in here, does not give up on the drive. I thought that went off Barrett, frankly.
Reddish with a pull-up, not this time. And it is Carolina ball.
Garrison Brooks works so hard on the glass. An outstanding position defender. He's not a guy that blocks a lot of shots, gets a lot of steals, but he's always in the right place. He's one of those guys that makes the right defensive play, so he doesn't necessarily have to get a steal.
And kind of quietly had 14 points and 8 rebounds in the first game against Duke.
Yeah, that may have been his best game of the year.
Nasir Little's given Carolina some good minutes off the bench tonight. Pull up, yes.
Well, he's just getting better and better, isn't he? What a talented player. Trey Jones going against Kobe White. Those are 2 fantastic freshman point guards.
Williams having to fight around screens.
Offensive.
And number 3 on R.J. Barrett. And 2 of them have been Kenny Williams stepping in to take a charge.
Well, Kenny Williams would not give up on that play. Got back in front of R.J. Barrett, took it right in the chest. That's just great defense by Kenny Williams. I'm not sure that would have been called if not for the lowering of that shoulder. You can see that R.J. Barrett put a little bit extra in with that right shoulder, and that's what got the foul, every bit as much as the positioning by Kenny Williams. What a great defensive play by Williams. I mean, if he doesn't make ACC all defensive, there should be an investigation. But the FBI's been busy.
Still plenty of time for Carolina. Duke with a 2-point lead. Little's had a good first half, driving on White, no, followed by Brooks.
Well, you go over to block a shot, and that opens up the offensive glass for Garrison Brooks. Great recognition, great drive by Nasir Little. Nasir Little drives it, draws the defense, and then the weak side offensive glass wide open. DeLaurier comes to block the shot. Garrison Brooks takes advantage of it, gets the bucket. That's vintage North Carolina offensive rebounding.
Nasir Little 9 points and a couple of rebounds in 10 minutes off the bench. More lively reactions from Fan Cam here at the Dean Dome as the Heels have come back to tie it in spite of an enormous first half by Cam Reddish of Duke.
Well, Cam Reddish has had his ups and his downs. Shoots under 40% from the field on the season, 33% from three, but he's made over 80 threes on the season. He's done it on the defensive end, blocking a shot, saving a bucket, then giving you a little look down, then pull up. He's pulling up in transition, coming off of screens, a very nice little fade screen into the corner, reading the defense, and then off the left-handed drive, spinning back to that right hand. He has been absolutely terrific in this game on the offensive end. 17 points for the freshman from Pennsylvania, Cam Reddish, 3 of 5 from three-point range.
Reddish off a screen. Williams trying to chase him.
And Kobe White could stop the drive and still recover to Trey Jones. What a shot by Jones, and a tough one.
6 now for Jones. Duke back on top. DeLaurier out on the perimeter on Williams right now. Williams will drive him. DeLaurier bothered the shot, and White down with a rebound.
Great rebound by White.
Great push by the Blue Devils. Jones. And the follow is there for DeLaurier, who doesn't shoot often but has been remarkably efficient, shooting 76% on the season. Obviously, most of that right around the rim.
Shoots on drop-offs and did a good job being there for the offensive board, just being in the right spots. He has to defend, rebound, protect the rim, and run the floor.
And with Bolden injured, they need a lot from DeLaurier right now. Kobe White gets inside. 2-point game.
He is incredibly fast, Kobe White, but he has been changing speed so much better through the course of ACC play.
On their feet at the Dean Dome. Shot clock turned off.
Wait, my neck hurts. It's like watching a tennis match, watching these guys go back and forth like this.
5 seconds. Reddish off balance.
And how about that defense by Kenny Williams to force that shot? My goodness.
Kenny Williams, a great first half for Carolina. Cam Reddish, a great first half for Duke. And the Blue Devils are up 2 on the Tar Heels at the half. After these messages, the Jeep halftime report with Reese, Seth, and Jay. Welcome back to Saturday Primetime, presented by H&R Block. The Blue Devils playing again without the injured Zion Williamson. Sustained another injury early in the game. Marquise Bolden suffering a left knee injury. All we know is he will not return tonight. So they're without 2 of their usual projected starters. Who's stepping up in their absence? Among them, Cam Reddish, who has a game-high 17 points in the first half. And that's the biggest reason why Duke has a 2-point lead. This is a Sonic blockbuster on ESPN. Welcome back to the Dean Dome. Great pace, hot in this building, as Mr. Billis mentioned earlier. What'd you think of the first half?
I thought it was a track meet, and both teams are getting pretty good shots. They're scoring in the paint. Both teams about equal. Cam Reddish was magnificent with 17 points. R.J. Barrett, remember, has 3 fouls. You can go at him. I think Luke May and Cam Johnson are the guys that have to get going in the second half, because Kenny Williams carried a big load in that first half on both ends of the floor. He was absolutely fantastic.
Maria Taylor with Roy Williams moments ago.
Coach, Cam Reddish had 17 in the first half. How do you contain him in the second?
Got to do a better job, and you got to stop Trey's dribble penetration where he hits him. And the other thing, Cam's a good shooter. You got to get up on him, and he's going to score some points. We've got to cut his percentage down, and hopefully on offense we'll do something other than standing there and dribbling in the same spot. Everybody's in their lawn chair instead of moving.
All right, thanks, Coach.
We're ready for the start of the second half of our Sonic blockbuster. Nothing ticks off Roy Williams like people not going fast all the time, as May spins into effectively a double team and has it taken away.
Really, that was on the first side of the floor and dribbled right into traffic, which is not like him. You can tell North Carolina wanting to get him started early in the second half. He did not have a good offensive first half.
Just 2 points on a 1-for-6 shooting, although again did rebound the ball and had 4 assists. Cam Johnson not in his lawn chair as he ties it up at 40.
Well, he took it right at R.J. Barrett in transition and dared Barrett to pick up that 4th foul.
How big of a storyline will that be in the second half? Barrett playing with 3. Jones 4-3, too strong. And Kenny Williams, who had a great first half of the Tar Heels, down with a rebound.
And a great first half at both ends of the floor.
Pull up by Johnson. Carolina back on top.
Well, you can tell that Cam Johnson is refreshed after halftime and looking to be a factor. In the first half, did not get a lot of open looks. It is Cam on Cam. Johnson guarding Reddish.
And Williams on Barrett. Pull-up jumper. Too strong.
Now, didn't that look like R.J. Barrett was a little bit concerned about getting into the chest of the defender and pulled up for a jump shot instead?
Johnson, no, and Barrett with the rebound, and he's running. Reddish was out ahead of the pack. Now he gets the pass, and it's knocked away, but a foul is called on Coby White.
Cam Johnson aggressive to start the second half. In transition, taking it all the way to the rack and just daring R.J. Barrett to stop him at the rim. Barrett had to let him go because of those 3 fouls. Second time down, being guarded by Cam Reddish, pulls up. He just has a beautiful shooting stroke, and nobody in this league has shot it better, including Kyle Guy, percentage-wise. Shooting almost 48% from three-point range in ACC games and 47% overall. He's been spectacular all season long.
The grad transfer from Moon Township, Pennsylvania, spent a couple of years at Pitt. One of the rare grad transfers to play 2 years at his ultimate destination, and what an impact he has had on the Tar Heels this year.
And he's healthy this year, so he is rebounding at a higher rate. He's got the highest assist rate he's had.
Luke May for 3.
Luke May just fading to the three-point line against Jack White and ready to shoot it when he caught it.
Barrett the same at the other end, and it brings him back within 1, and then Barrett has to race back to prevent Kenny Williams from getting out ahead of him.
You see he was holding that follow-through as soon as he hit that shot. When he gets his feet set, he's a good shooter. Not a great shooter, but a good shooter. And he was holding that follow-through, watching it go in, and then he had to race back. It's almost like he caught himself going, uh-oh, I could give up a layup.
A dozen for Barrett, 18 for Reddish. They are leading the way again for Duke in the absence of Zion Williamson.
Carolina running a box set. Back pick up top.
May always moving without the ball, isn't he?
Well, he got a back pick from Cam Johnson and was able to catch the ball on the move. You got to be worried about Johnson as the screener coming off to the three-point line, and May was the one who was wide open. But not an easy shot. That was a fadeaway, but something Carolina works on.
Barrett off a screen. No. Jack White, no. Carolina ball.
Another great defensive play by Kenny Williams. He has been absolutely everywhere and contesting everything.
Luke May feeling it a little bit strong on the 3. Tip back out by Johnson. Williams knocks down a 3. Biggest lead of the game for the Heels.
If you want something emblematic of North Carolina basketball, it's an offensive rebound to keep it alive. Cam Johnson tipping it to Kenny Williams, who turns an offensive board into an open 3. Williams has been spectacular.
Welcome to Wichita. For the first time in UFC history, we have touched down in the great state of Kansas, where later tonight, the spotlight shines on the heavyweights, the Black Beast Derek Lewis, and the former UFC heavyweight champion, Junior Dos Santos. We're already underway on ESPN Plus. Main event later tonight.
8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Plus in English and Spanish. Start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. Here at the Smith Center in Chapel Hill, R.J. Barrett up to 15, his second 3 already here in the second half.
Off the broken play, what was a near turnover after Cam Reddish fell down. And when R.J. Barrett gets his feet set, he can shoot it. He has not been able to get his feet set that much due to Kenny Williams' defense.
Johnson, pass taken away. Reddish to Barrett.
It's just their 4th turnover.
A bump. Reddish bumped by White, no call. Johnson almost lost it, and it's off May's leg out of bounds.
Wait,
it should belong to Duke, and it is. Roger Ayers will make sure they have it going the right way.
Cam Reddish went up with one hand on that last play. And that's one of the reasons he wasn't able to complete the play. He decided to catch it with one hand and go up with one hand, got bumped. Not enough to draw a foul, but if he had caught it with two hands and gone stronger, he could have absorbed that contact and perhaps finished that play.
And not as much contact on the replay from the overhead angle as I thought there was live. A 3-point lead for Carolina. Duke has led most of the game, led most of the first half.
Carolina with 2 turnovers their last 2 possessions. They only had 3 in the first 23 minutes.
Reddish no. Barrett runs it down in the corner and is fouled by Brooks. Timeout on the floor. Heels by 3.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Zaxby's, chicken fingers, buffalo wings, Zalads. Find a location at Zaxby's.com. And America's biopharmaceutical companies. Go boldly.
Here with the Smith Center, and especially nowhere more so than in the student section. They were here early. They were great at game day earlier today. All fired up as we take a look at UNC student Megan Kane, who is bringing us fan cam captured on a Samsung Galaxy S10. Outstanding job by Megan, who is a terrific student here at North Carolina, an Honors Carolina ambassador, broadcast journalism, and her goal is to be a female version of Jay Billis.
She should aim higher. Good backdoor cut.
Kobe White.
A set play after R.J. Barrett knocked down the 3 off the out-of-bounds underneath, and Barrett, for yet another possession, able to get his feet set and knock down an open shot. That play was designed open side, backdoor cut by White.
Biggest lead all night long. 6 by Carolina, 5 by Duke. Jack White misses the corner 3. Ball's kept alive, and Johnson just working harder to go get that ball.
Javin DeLaurier right there to get it past Brooks.
Brooks challenged and fouled by Jack White, who is pleading his case to no avail with Teddy Valentine.
That was a meeting at the Summit. Again, Garrison Brooks running the floor, and there was no foul there. That was just a straight up good block. And that was the referees get 90. They say they get 90% of them right. That's in the 10%. That was a good block.
Brooks at the line, playing some big minutes for Carolina. Sterling Manley is just back from an injury, playing sparingly. Brandon Huffman not getting a lot of minutes. And we haven't seen very much of the Carolina lineup tonight, Jay, when Luke May's at the 5.
Well, Garrison Brooks, what, does he miss 4 straight foul shots?
1 for 6 overall. Barrett bringing it up. He's done a lot of ball handling for Duke this year. Jones playing off the ball at the moment. Boy, Williams just staying right in front of him, not giving an inch.
And Carolina loading up, playing gaps when Barrett has the ball.
Shot clock at 7.
Boy, what a move.
And Reddish is fouled out on the perimeter before the field goal attempt, and it's going on May, number 3.
Just splitting the defense, got touched by Luke May, picked up the foul. And if it wasn't a foul there, it would have been a foul there on the shot. But instead, Duke takes it out of bounds underneath. And on this last play with DeLaurier and White going toward the baseline, it opened it up for a pass to R.J. Barrett, who drilled the 3 over the top.
So number 3 on May. Brooks to the bench, Little back in. So May now at the 5 spot, and a travel called on Trey Jones.
Just put his head down, went right into the waist of Cam Johnson, who did a great job defensively and forced the turnover.
The pace a little slower, the offense not quite as crisp here in the second half as it was in that track meet of the first half.
Well, the defense has been better. There's the slice cut to get May into the low post.
Remember, he's guarded by Barrett, who's got 3. Little called for the travel.
The pass was to Kenny Williams. When Little caught the ball in the corner, Kenny Williams was wide open for a 3. But Little put the ball on the deck instead of making the extra pass, which was really the right pass.
Carolina winning the first game at Cameron, 88-72. They're 5-5 in the last 10. They're 50-50 in the last 100 meetings between these two great programs.
Well, Cam Johnson right there for another rebound. Take a look at this last possession when Carolina gets the ball into the corner. Here's the pass. Watch Kenny Williams up top. He's wide open. If that pass is made, it's a wide open three. Instead, it's a turnover.
White driving on Jones. Left hand. Tipped by Little, no. And out of bounds. It will stay at this end of the floor. Carolina with a fresh 30. 6:20 into the second half. Heels by 2.
And North Carolina getting some opportunities in the paint. Boy, in the first half, both teams got the ball into the paint.
Jack White guarding May right now. Driving is White. He turns it over. Reddish took it away from him.
Reddish switched out. What a great defensive play by Cam Reddish with his size and length.
Underrated defender, don't you think?
Yes.
And an underrated driver. Not just a standstill shooter. The 8th tie of the game, this time at 52.
They were playing him to go toward the screen. Instead, he refused it.
Travel called on Luke May.
North Carolina has been turning the ball over in the second half, in large measure due to Duke's pressure. In the first half, Carolina barely turned it over at all.
There it is, more turnovers already in the second half than in the entire first half. Reddish elevates, had it blocked.
It looked like he got hit on that.
Williams deflected by Jones. Duke ball. Another Carolina turnover.
And that saved a bucket.
Floater no by Barrett. Little the rebound.
Well, how about that transition defense by Carolina? That should have been a basket, but they took it away.
Johnson taken away by Jack White. Jack White giving Duke some good minutes tonight.
Well, you'd better be ready to go through contact in this game.
Delorier hands off for Barrett. Misses the three.
He's just looking at that offensive possession. Jason Garrett is behind the Duke bench. Everybody's here.
Johnson again. He's got a dozen.
What a year he has had. Cam Johnson has turned into a great college basketball player that is going to be an NBA pro.
Barrett will be at the free throw line when we come back. Carolina by 3 in another huge game coming your way next on ESPN. The winner of Michigan and Michigan State will take the top seed in the Big Ten tournament. Iggy Brazdeikis, hoping it's the Wolverines. Senior day or senior night, always a great moment. And the Billis family, Jay and Wendy and Tori, big sister there with Anthony, a captain of the Wake Forest team. And at the end of the game against Florida State, Anthony, who started the game today on senior day, came in and in the closing seconds knocked down a three. What a proud papa you must be.
Well, not just for that. I mean, he's a great kid, a great teammate, so it was a lot of fun for us as a family. But for any family on senior night, it's one of the great nights. And I know for the families here at North Carolina, for Kenny Williams, Luke May, Cam Johnson, it's an extraordinary feeling.
And I know you feel, like most do, that Wendy deserves the bulk of the credit for what a fine young man Anthony is.
Wendy deserves the bulk of the credit for everything in our family. Especially extraordinary patience when I'm running my mouth at home about how things should be.
So it's not just here at work that happens?
Heck no. I'm just warming up at work.
Kobe White. He's just warming up. Carolina by 5.
And did it against the outstretched arm of Javin Delorier on the switch.
When Kobe White gets going, he can go with just about anybody in the country. He's had some huge games. Jones, nice look. White over May. Banks it home.
Jack White with the finish. He'd been point blank a couple of times, couldn't get anything to go, and Trey Jones able to create that play with his penetration. Good pass.
Out of bounds, Carolina ball. That last three by Kobe White, his 73rd three this season. That breaks Rashad McCann's record for a Carolina freshman.
If he is looking down, he's going to go up with it. Just gave a little move to the left and was able to pull up. And people forget he is 6'5" and has had a fantastic season.
Made to the bench for the Heels. Brooks back in. White gets by Delorier, and he's got a chance for three.
Taking advantage of the bigger defender, even though Delorier is an outstanding athlete. Just the blow by, then the finish with the right hand off the glass. Kobe White with the magnificent hair. What a great player.
Let's bring in Maria.
Well, guys, we're admiring Kobe White, the hair, obviously, but the growth has been tremendous. He said his knowledge is better at the point guard position, time, situation, not turning the ball over. And Kenny Williams says he's always gone 100 miles per hour, but now he knows how to be in control and make plays like we just saw.
Yeah, that's a great point, Maria, about Kobe White, and he's changing speeds. He can go 100 miles an hour. A lot of guards can't, but when he slows it down and changes speeds, he's that much more difficult to guard. That's way off.
And White down with it for Carolina.
What a fake.
And what a block by Javin Delorier.
Delorier's got like 3 blocks, maybe 4.
Barrett. Jones in the corner. A much-needed bucket for Duke. A good decision there by Barrett not to force it and dish it off into the corner to Trey Jones.
Trey Jones not a great shooter, but when he's got his feet set, he can make it. And North Carolina having an opportunity for a layup, and then they give up a 3 on the other end. Big turnaround.
Kobe White, another one.
Kobe White has been Carolina's top scorer in ACC games, over 18 a game. He had 34 against Syracuse. He had 2 33-point games. He is wired to score.
Jack White shaken up for Duke. Delorier on the deck, held ball. Jack White took a shot in the face and trying to walk it off right now.
Kobe White is 9th in the ACC in scoring, and you had better get up on him. If you do take away the shot, he's got the speed, the first step to get by you. When he's knocking down his perimeter shot, just about unguardable at the college level.
As we said, when he gets it going, he can get it going about as well as anybody. Meanwhile, Jack White has gone to the bench for Duke. Alex O'Connell, who started the game, has come back in. It looks like White's okay, and maybe he took an elbow to the face as he gets some time on the bench right now. They could really use O'Connell to knock down a shot or two.
O'Connell had 20 points against Syracuse, but he could find an open spot in the zone. Being guarded by Luke May now, he has to find an opening, oftentimes by setting a screen.
Reddish and a foul. Nasir Little called for the foul. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Jack White moments ago.
Take a look at Jack White right underneath the bucket. Just caught a little bit of an elbow from Garrison Brooks, unintentional, as he was coming down after that rebound attempt.
And coming back into the game.
Well, there are some pure shooting strokes in this game. Cam Reddish is one. Cam Johnson is another. And just absolutely beautiful strokes.
Look at this lineup now for Duke, Jay, with Williamson out, with Bolden injured in the first half, and Delorier just went to the bench. So it's Reddish, Barrett, O'Connell, White, and Jones. This is about as small as Duke can get.
Well, going against a relatively small lineup for North Carolina. Gamble.
Brooks.
Anytime you gamble, North Carolina is going to make you pay.
O'Connell corner 3, short.
Good pressure by Luke May. That needs to be a shot fake and drive. O'Connell needs to drive Luke May.
White keeps the dribble alive. Tipped up, no good. Brooks, no, but a foul.
A great hesitation by Kobe White. Now watch this gamble on the right wing. Pass is made, the gamble by Reddish. That opens up the drive. You come over to block the shot, and then the offensive glass again wide open for Garrison Brooks. Nobody boxes out. If it's not him, it's going to be Luke May. Great board coverage by North Carolina.
Let's see if Brooks can capitalize now with the free throw line. With that make, now 2 for 7 tonight. 66% on the season.
And you can see the difference in second chance points, 19-9. That's been a huge factor in this game. North Carolina's ability to convert off their offensive rebounds. They haven't had a ton more offensive rebounds than Duke has had. The difference is North Carolina has converted. Another one. That's the third charge on R.J. Barrett. And another great play by North Carolina.
Number 4 overall. All 3 charges have been taken by Kenny Williams.
Just moves his feet. He had initial guarding position, 2 feet on the floor facing the ball handler. And I really think a lot of it has to do with that dip shoulder into the chest of Kenny Williams.
Zion Williamson reacting on the bench. Barrett stays in the game with 4 fouls.
Big possession right here for North Carolina. If they can get a score, move this lead out. Good fade screen.
They do, and guess who it is yet again? What a second half for Kobe White. Biggest lead of the night either way. Reddish banks it, no. Tip, no. May the rebound.
Great defense by Garrison Brooks. What a pass.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by H&R Block. In person or online, Block has your back. And in part by Wendy's $5 Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger Meal.
Brick, thank you. That's a big one. Could the loser get an at-large? Good day for some bubble teams today. Wins for TCU, Clemson, NC State, Seton Hall, among others. Tip back up, no good, still loose. And Kenny Williams has it. Here's a good look for Kobe White. Weak side rebound, Luke May. Williams.
North Carolina is just outworking their counterparts from down the road right now. Outstanding offensive rebounding by the Tar Heels.
In and out for Reddish. Johnson holds off White for the rebound.
Well, Carolina doesn't look like they are tired at all.
I was just thinking the same thing watching White. He looks like he could have run all night.
And run fast all night.
Yes. Barrett playing with 4 fouls. A block on Williams. The crowd wanted yet another charge.
Wasn't quite there. Just didn't quite have the angle. But almost a surprise when he doesn't get it. He's been that good defensively. Yeah, that one was close, but you tend to agree with the call. Most charges that are called usually are blocks, but they haven't been in this game.
The lead has grown significantly in recent minutes for Carolina, up to 15 right now, their largest lead of the game. Barrett inside, no. Barrett again. And converts.
Barrett was the screener there, just broke back to the bucket, was wide open underneath.
May a little bit short. And the rebound down to DeLaurier. Less than 6 minutes to go, and a double-digit deficit for Duke. But they cut into it again with another 2.
Okay, one thing Carolina does not want to do is settle right now. Looked like Cam Johnson just went. Not sure we got pushed or got tangled up, but there are some wet spots out on the floor right now.
And Bill Covington doing a nice job to blow the whistle to make sure it's safe.
After the quick shot by Luke May, the less than stellar offense for North Carolina led to essentially a run out for Duke and a quick post by R.J. Barrett. And that's where you hear sometimes you say your offense has to help your defense. And if you take a quick shot that is not the best of shots, oftentimes that can lead to a run out where your opponent can play ahead of your defense. And that's the same as a turnover, really. Or functions the same.
Right now, Carolina a little stagnant so far in this possession, so White will try to do it himself.
Yeah, not a really poor possession by North Carolina. Not one pass and a challenge jumper. Good defense by Trey Jones on Kobe White.
Duke trying to get it into single digits. Reddish, too strong.
And you wonder if fatigue may be a factor late in the game for Duke's 2 main scorers, Reddish and Barrett, on 3-point shots. There's a lot of possessions in this game.
White driving on Jack White, and Jack White down with the rebound for Duke. Now it's Duke in transition. Reddish just lost it.
Another offensive foul.
Yep.
Kenny Williams got there, drew it. I think I know who's going to be North Carolina's defensive player of the game.
Yeah, they give out an award every game for the best defensive players. Reddish lost it before the charge. There will be an investigation if Kenny Williams doesn't get it tonight. Guy who originally committed to VCU back when Shaka Smart was there. Shaka goes to Texas, and Williams opens up his recruiting again and winds up in Carolina. This is his senior night, and what a game he has had so far tonight.
And he's done it at both ends of the floor. It doesn't seem like Kenny Williams has been out much. He's played big minutes.
Johnson misses the 3. Here comes Jones.
Boy, it's been a 3-point fest for North Carolina. They haven't gotten the ball in the paint at all of late.
May saves it. Duke has it.
Boy, what a play by Reddish.
White wide open. And May comes down with a rebound and is fouled by Trey Jones.
Right, North Carolina, frankly, has given Duke some opportunities with some poor offensive possessions. And Duke hasn't really been able to take advantage of it to cut into this lead.
That's Luke May's 13th rebound of the game. And that's about what he's been averaging over his last 5 games.
Well, his last 5 games, he's averaging 17.5 points, 13.5 rebounds. It's just remarkable. He's coming off a 20 rebound game against Boston College. There aren't many guys in the country that can get 20 rebounds. Luke May has had a remarkable career. He's a great college player.
Averaging a double-double for the 2nd year in a row. Carolina trying to beat Duke for the 2nd time this year. Less than 4 minutes to go, and they're up by 11.
He's a good player.
Around LSU, of course, Will Wade suspended indefinitely. They're holding Javonte Smart out of competition, and now news coming out tonight that Naz Reid has some injuries, and they'll be without him. Kansas State having a great year. First time in 15 years that Kansas does not win at least a share of the Big 12 regular season title.
North Carolina has hit 12 threes in this game. They are 7 of 13 from 3 in this second half. Remember, the last game against Duke, Carolina was 2 of 20 from 3. Oh, what a block by Garrison Brooks.
But then a foul, and it'll be DeLaurier at the line for Duke.
Brooks didn't mind picking up that foul just to keep DeLaurier from laying it in, but this was a spectacular block. That is all leather up top. And that is a big-time block by an outstanding defensive player. Garrison Brooks, not known as a shot blocker, but more a lane protector because of his great position defense. DeLaurier's had a nice game as well. He's got 9 rebounds in this one. Hasn't missed a field goal.
Getting a lot of minutes. Again, if you weren't with us, Marquise Bolden injured early in the game, a left knee injury. Sports Center tonight after Oregon and Washington with John Abuchagrass and Kenny Mayne. Mr. Bellis will join the show to break down this one. Plus, it'll be John Morant and Murray State taking on Belmont. A recap of the OBC championship game and the ABC Saturday night game, the Celtics and the Lakers.
That Murray State-Belmont game has the chance to be a great game. Belmont, the only team in the country that averages more assists per game than North Carolina. They've got a player named Dylan Windler who is an outstanding player.
A game starting soon on ESPNU. Brooks called for the foul. Still 3:18 to go. Duke's had about 3 possessions to cut this into single digits, just haven't been able to do it.
Well, North Carolina more of a three-point shooting team this year than they have been, but I think they've given up too many three-point shots in the second half and settled for them instead of getting the ball inside and getting it to the paint where they can force Duke to, or at least put Duke in a position to foul. And Duke really hasn't taken advantage of it on their offensive end.
1-and-1 for Jack White.
With 3:18, there's still plenty of time left in this one. There's a long way to go.
This is the 12th time that Duke and Carolina have met in a game in which each of them has been ranked in the top 5. Carolina leading 6-5 in the first 11.
Really, for Carolina, going right at R.J. Barrett. I'd think about that. Make him guard.
Heels Jay scoreless in their last 7 possessions.
And they haven't been good shots that they've taken, not high-quality shots anyway.
Johnson with a pretty good look from 3.
But it's another 3.
Yeah.
They haven't touched the paint.
Reddish trying to do it himself, but he draws the foul. And you can hear how the crowd feels about that call. And it'll be 2 shots in the act of shooting.
Now, whether the call was right or not, the difference is Duke is putting North Carolina in a position to pick up a foul. It wasn't the initial contact, it was the reach-in that picked up the foul. It was right here going across the arm that got the foul. But North Carolina has not put Duke into that position on the other end. It's been settling for some jump shots. Roy Williams shaking his head, I would guess, because of that.
Eight-point game, 2:54 to go.
Now, this is a really big possession in this game. Can Duke get a stop? Can North Carolina get a score? Got a switch. Now Jack White guarding Kobe White.
Trey Jones guarding Luke May right now.
White on White, Cam on Cam.
May gets it, but deep in the corner. Pass deflected, and this is going to be Duke's ball. It went out of bounds off Brooks.
And North Carolina is just giving Duke opportunities. You give Duke credit for the defense, but this has not been vintage offense for North Carolina. And Duke with a chance to make this a 2-possession game. Can North Carolina make someone other than Barrett or Reddish beat them? Answer no.
R.J. Barrett with a huge 3, and it's a 5-point game and a 10-0 run for the Blue Devils. And Roy Williams will use a timeout. Boy, it's 75-60, Jay. This one felt on the verge of being over, and it is anything but right now.
And R.J. Barrett now, after that shot, has 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. The little jab step got Kenny Williams to bite on it just a bit. And with those feet set, he is a much more accurate three-point shooter. And all of a sudden, the Dean E. Smith Center has become a little bit quiet as Duke is within 2 possessions. We had talked about there's plenty of time in this one. North Carolina had a lot of loose offensive possessions. And Duke fought their way back into it. But if you're taking the North Carolina perspective, you have to say some of Carolina's offense let Duke back into it.
And you can see the stress on the faces of the Carolina fans here in Chapel Hill. Still to come, tipping in about 8 minutes. Michigan and Michigan State. What a point guard battle. Xavier Simpson for the Wolverines. Cassius Winston for the Spartans in another great rivalry game that will decide the top seed heading into the Big Ten tournament.
Xavier Simpson, one of the best hook shots in America, whether guard, forward, or center.
R.J. Barrett with a 26 tonight. has established a new single-season ACC freshman record for most points, surpassing Kenny Anderson. If you're Roy Williams, what do you want to see offensively from your team that has been, it really hasn't been there. It hasn't been good offense at all for them in recent minutes.
You want to move the ball and you want to try to get some spacing because it's been a lot of three-point shooting. I wouldn't be surprised to see North Carolina run something where they can get one side isolated and try to get a quick backdoor cut and then get something. Take advantage of what is sure to be an overplay.
Scoreless in their last 10 possessions.
Going to a box set here. There's the slice cut. And screen for the screener. Duke switches it.
May on the block. Doesn't get a look. Shot clock inside 10. White in a lot of traffic. Forces it up with 5 on the shot clock. Was unaware, obviously, that he still had a bit of time, and it's Duke's ball.
Just a poor offensive possession, especially after a timeout. Now it's up to Roy Williams imploring his team that it's about getting a stop here.
Barrett. Bothered by May. Ball's loose, and it belongs to Carolina.
Boy, May blocked it. Great help defense by Luke May.
May running the floor at the other end, kicks it back out to Williams. And into the hands of White.
White being pressured by Trey Jones, an excellent individual defender.
They're taking their time. Shot clock's down to 5. Good position by Brooks. Knocked away, though, at the rim. Both DeLaurier and Jack White were there. Into the final minute, Duke ball down by 5. Barrett blocked by Williams.
Another great defensive play by Kenny Williams. Could be game-saving. When Carolina was unable to get a score, they get 2 straight stops. Luke May with the block on R.J. Barrett, and then Kenny Williams with the block. Challenging it with the right hand on the play after Luke May was able to block Barrett on the left side on the drive. So it hasn't been Carolina's offense that has put them in a position to win this game with 49 seconds left. It's been Carolina's defense.
Some big plays made by seniors down the stretch here on senior night in Chapel Hill.
And Cam Johnson with a double-double. 10 rebounds to go along with his 15 points.
Reddish forces up a 3. Tip back out. Barrett's open. Too strong. DeLaurier out to Reddish again. 3 misses from beyond the arc, and the ball belongs to Carolina. And they can smell it now. And they'll foul Brooks right away to put him on the line.
And Brooks, who struggled from the free throw line in this game, although he knocked down one of his last free throws, came into this game shooting 66% from the foul line.
A Carolina team that came into tonight having won 13 of its last 14. The only loss to Virginia. Carolina, a scary team to contend with right now. And granted, Duke undermanned tonight. Again, no Zion Williamson. And Marquise Bolden injured early tonight. But Carolina is playing as well and with as much confidence as they've had all season long. A look ahead to the ACC tournament, which begins in Charlotte on Tuesday. Both of these teams have earned double byes into Thursday's quarters. If Carolina wins, they would be the 2. Duke would be the 3.
If Carolina able to hang on this last 33.4, this will be the 16th ACC win for North Carolina. After watching this team play against Michigan in the ACC Big Ten, I'm not sure anybody thought 16 wins in the ACC would be in the cards, but Carolina has improved at an incredibly incredible improvement.
And unbeaten on the road in league play, which is really remarkable in a league of this caliber. Huge story tonight. In a span of about 4 or 5 minutes in the second half, Coby White just took over.
Yeah, Coby White was outstanding. And look, North Carolina's offense sputtered the last 3-4 minutes of this game, but White in the second half, 14 points. And Carolina shot the ball so well from the perimeter through most of the second half, but as a lot of people might say, fell in love with the three-point shot, started launching up too many of them down the stretch, and didn't get as many paint touches. But really, it was down the stretch when the offense was not firing. It was the defense that saved the day. The block by Luke May, then the block of the R.J. Barrett jump shot by Kenny Williams. And as big a factor as any player was offensively, you have to say the biggest factor in this game was Kenny Williams and his defense on R.J. Barrett.
Williams on him again, now hands him off to Brooks. Precious seconds ticking away. It stays with Duke. 24.6 to go. They're down by 9.
They're going to take a look at it just to make sure they have the right call here. This is really about Carolina taking away threes from Duke.
Duke has attempted 31 threes tonight. They have only made 8, a 26% clip.
Harrison Brooks got a finger on this. Not sure if it was touched after he hit it. Yep, no, that was the right call. Went off of Brooks.
And a very quick replay review as the officials have a look at the monitor and award the ball to Duke.
If it's all twos, Duke doesn't have enough time, so Carolina's got to take away the three-point shot. Anything from 2 is not the problem. It's 3.
Barrett gets it off, contested though. May has it, and that should be that. Carolina is going to defeat Duke for the second time here in the regular season. And who knows, on Friday night we might see them again in the semifinals in Charlotte, but a lot of basketball to be played between now and then. Senior night is a good night for the Heels. Carolina winds up the regular season in ACC play at 16-2. And they will be the number 2 seed in the ACC tournament in Charlotte this week. Duke at 14-4 will be the number 3 seed. Virginia is the number 1 seed after their win over Louisville earlier today. Florida State also clinches the double bye, and it's going to be a ton of fun in Charlotte later on this week.
And what a quarterfinal Thursday it is lining up to be. The ACC tournament, kind of like the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. What an excellent defensive performance down the stretch by North Carolina. The offense let the Tar Heels down, but the defense was what pulled it out and made the Heels a 16-game winner in the ACC this season. Just a really, I don't want to call it a turnaround because it's not a turnaround, but really remarkable that early in the season, I would not have said that this is a team that's going to win 16 games and tie for the title.
Agreed. Big night here on senior night. Maria Taylor's with a couple of victorious Tar Heels, a senior in Kenny Williams and a freshman in Coby White.
And we'll start with the senior, Dan. Kenny, for the rest of your life, you'll be able to see that you beat Duke during the regular season in both of your meetings. What does that statement mean to you?
Oh, man, to sweep them, to get 2 wins against a team like that, man, that's incredible. That's something that I'll hold on to for the rest of my life. They're a great team, and they fought. We got them pretty good over there, and they gave us a fight. I mean, they gave us everything we could handle for 40 minutes, but we out-toughed it, and we lasted for 40 minutes.
And not only say that you got the win, but your defense played a huge factor in this game, drawing charges against R.J. Barrett. How would you describe the defensive intensity you brought into this one?
That's just something I want to bring every day. To take the other team's best score, and taking the charges gets him out of his rhythm. So, that's just what I do every single day.
All right, let's talk about what Coby White does every single day. The second half was huge for you. You came out like gangbusters. What changed for you offensively in the second?
I got into a rhythm. I started knocking down some jump shots. I got to the basket, but, you know, I owe it all to my teammates, man, finding me in the right spots.
Have fun. Enjoy this one, Kobe.
Thank you.
They had some fun tonight. They're still having some fun tonight. Carolina beats Duke. Again, for Jay Billis, Maria Taylor, and our outstanding crew, I'm Dan Schulman saying thanks for watching. More fun coming your way from East Lansing with Dan Dockich. Here's Jason Benetti.